Yo, Mike Cimarelli here, coming back to you guys with another video. Today I want to talk to you about smoking, my struggle with smoking, why you should quit smoking, and some tips on how you can do so. I'll go ahead and link my sources for this content in the description box. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got a bunch of content coming out, and I would really like to focus on trying to reach some fellow dads out there. Guys, I would like to extend some fun stuff that I do with my family that I think you guys might benefit from and kind of get some conversations rolling. So let's get into the video. Smoking kills 5 million plus people every year. 5 million. In the United States alone, 480,000 people die from smoking, and that is confirmed smoking deaths, not like the COVID ones where there's 8 comorbidities or whatever. 40-some thousand people die from secondhand smoke. I think we're at an age right now where smoking is just not that cool. If you go back in time, Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, Winston Churchill, these people made cigarettes, those white cancer sticks, look very sexy and very cool and rebellious. But now they're just not. And so I want to take you guys back about, I think, 16 years old. I picked up my first cigarette, 15 years old. It was a Marlboro Red. Who gave that to me? It's irrelevant. Anyway, tasted like a inhalation of a cannon load of chemicals. And I didn't think I'd ever smoke again. And then someone gave me a Camel Turkish Royal. And whoa, I was like, wow, this thing tastes like chocolate and vanilla. And it said Turkish and domestic blends, you know, on the pack. And it was a really neat looking container. Oh my God. It was something else. And I would like sneak outside, I would smoke a cigarette, I would run back in the house, take my clothes off, shower, brush my teeth, brush my hands really well so that nobody would know. And I remember I got caught by Tim Haley. Shout out to Tim Haley. He said, Mike, if you don't stop smoking, you're going to be 17 years old, you'll been hooked for 1 year, and you'll be addicted. You'll be completely screwed. Well, a year, 365 days passed, and I was hooked. I was smoking at least 10 cigarettes a day, if not 20. I mean, I was just chugging these things down. Anyone I could find that was 18, oh my gosh, hey man, can you buy me a pack of cigarettes? I'll buy you a pack of cigarettes, whatever. I ended up growing out my facial hair, and I looked older. And gas station attendants usually wouldn't card me, and I could buy cigarettes for my friends and myself. That's another story. I'm not trying to get into that. I'm not trying to say that's a good thing or a glorious thing, but needless to say, moving forward into my 20s, I was fully hooked on cigarettes. In fact, I was a personal trainer. I was teaching classes. I was a nutritionist. I ran a very successful class at the Malibu gym called Booty Camp, and I was still sneaking cigarettes. When I'd go out to the bar, when I'd go out to karaoke or this or that, I'd be sucking down Cowboy Killers. Why, Mike? Anyway, and you know what? I couldn't help it. And you guys that smoke might know this whole pattern. Like when you get in the car, you have a cigarette. After food, you have a cigarette. When you wake up in the morning, you have a cigarette. When you have a break, you have a cigarette. When something good happens, you have a cigarette. When you have something bad happen, you have a cigarette. Just like there's always an excuse for a cigarette. And so that actually is one of the things I want to talk about. And actually, we'll go into that right now. That's one of the hardest. That's one of the things that makes it so hard to quit, because you have this constant reward on demand system. When I pull one of these suckers out and light it up, whew, I get like an instant hit of dopamine. And if I quit, I don't have that. I mean, like I know people that are very close to me that suck down those jewels because they stop chewing or dipping or smoking or whatever, and they can't stop doing it. They are so hooked on that instant reward, that instant dopamine, that instant hit. It's like, man, it is tough. So I want to walk you guys through how I stopped smoking. And it started with a decision. And may sound kind of weird. I looked at a cigarette one day and I was like, wow, I'm completely addicted and hooked to these cancer-filled tampons. I know, take it for what it is. Anyway, I'm going to quit. And it wasn't just that easy. I probably tried to quit like 30 or 40 times with no success. Every time I would pick one back up, I'd have to go get a pack. So what do you do? Well, here is the program that I use to quit smoking. I was going to sell this. I may at some point, like with some sort of like companionship. I'm not trying to make money off making the world a better place. I'm trying to help you guys. So if you're like me and you're still in the mix like this, like, let's get you out of it. So the first thing I did was I stopped the morning cigarette. When you stop the morning cigarette, what you're doing is essentially creating a new habit in your head. Habits are essentially like a path, right? From this action to that over here. And it's like when you pour water in the dirt, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper when you keep pouring water, and eventually you have like a creek bed. And that's like your neurotransmitters over here and your receivers over here. And this is a pathway, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because when you go to pour a new neural pathway or a new channel in the dirt, guess what? It's going to go into that old one. So how do you do that? You start by making an easy transition. You start with the 8 a.m. or the 10 a.m. cigarette, and you stop that. Now at 10:01, you can take an entire pack, duct tape it together, and freaking light it with a torch and suck it down. Great. And then after a few weeks of successfully getting to that time, then you go to 10, then you go to 12, then you go to 2. And you give yourself 2 or 3 weeks at a time in between these increments. And the whole time you can smoke as much as you want at the time. And for me, it started really getting easy once I stopped until noon, right? I didn't smoke in the morning. I didn't smoke in the car, which was one of the most difficult. And I didn't smoke until after lunch. And then it went to like 2 p.m. I think I went right after that to like 6 p.m. And when I finally got to the bedtime only cigarette, I still would go outside religiously right before bed and I'd suck one down and I could sleep so nice. And then it finally got to the point where they were just not tasting the same. It's like, why am I going outside to smoke this bedtime cigarette? This is disgusting. My pillow smells like, and then you start smelling it, when you don't smoke all the time, your body has a chance to rejuvenate just enough so that you smell it. And it smells like this, wet dog. It's gross. So anyway, guys, I hope that helps you out. I'm going to link a couple things in the description box. One of them is quit.com, and the other one is an article that talks about people who are now moving to juuling. And yes, you guys have probably seen, the different types of vapes and this and that. And my video is not about that stuff. My video is specifically about smoking. I will do another video on juuling and vaping because that's a different thing. They haven't proven that it's as toxic or as, dangerous on your lungs. I think it probably will be. To some extent, but they haven't proven that, so I don't have the resources or the knowledge to get into that. But if this video does anything for you, or you know someone that could benefit from this, please send it to them. Please give me a comment and let me know that you're following so that I can check in with you and help boost you up on your progress. Or if someone else that you know is engaged in this, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. And I'd love to give you guys, some motivation and kind of some stuff that I had to work through personally, because there's a lot of inner turmoil that happens when you're trying to get through something like this. So anyway, that's my video. Please check out my channel soon. Talk to you later. Take care.